trying to do, Pitso is very smart enough, is telling him to roam around. If it's going so wide, you have that honor of a defender trying to move on, and it's worse, it's Ali trying to move with him. So it creates a gap within, and you have the likes of Temba. Zwane Temba coming in and capitalizing on those chances.
Yeah, as we see here, move just breaking down for Maritzburg United, who have come out to play, Chris. I mean, they're not holding back.
They are really playing. I'm a little bit worried the way they're putting so much pressure on Mamelodi Sundowns defense. When you play against any opposition, small or big, and they're getting chances inside your 18 area, anything can happen. A handball, a deflection, and a tackle that is a missed tackle. You don't allow teams to play inside your box. Mamelodi Sundowns, they're allowing them to get inside the box.
Look, it's a pity that, in the 15th minute, Tabogo Lamohan is getting a yellow card. For a defender, that's not so good. But, it is always coming at that point when, you are late. But I don't think he deserves to get the yellow card. I think it is quite a harsh call from the referee.
And he looks like he slipped.
He did slip, but,
But he caught him.
No, but even then, sometimes as a referee,
you let things go.
Not exactly, but you have to read the situation of the game.
Yeah.
You have to balance it out very well.
The occasion.
Yeah.
You have to read the occasion as well. As we see here, Maritzburg United just almost getting another chance. So what I'm seeing is that backline's not coming up quick enough because they're literally playing everyone on side still. As we see the chance, almost a good header there from the man who's working there, that side, Morgan.
There is a danger. Sundown are in danger. The right-hand side is weak. Very, very weak. They're attacking it all the time. And that's where you find Kulise and Morena. And the ball are going there all the time. And they're not dealing very well with the attack that's come from Kunene and Morgan.
Remember, Morena is a makeshift right back, so definitely you're gonna have those lapses of you pivoting very well to cover and everything like that, because they want him especially to be on the offensive. At this moment in time, given the number of games that Sundowns has played, I have a feeling that they're having that they're trying to get themselves into the rhythm of the game, and it's taking a while. And you look at Maritzburg United that is playing around the ball, trying to be in a rush to go and score a goal, and that's a disadvantage that they're having. They need to try and hold on to the ball in that last third of the pitch, force the Sundowns players, the midfielders, to drop back to try and defend, and then they will try to punish him that way. But if they don't do that, they stand the risk that Maritzburg United will get a sunker punch and then get that goal, and then they'll have to chase the game from behind.
They look very excited. They look very excited. They want to get that goal very quickly.
It's that moment when you have, a team that has rested enough, that is Maritzburg United, and Sundowns. The body of Sundowns players is going to take some time to get into the game. And then,
and as you are saying it, we see a miss pass. They're not controlling.
It's going to happen, but the moment they get into the groove, it's going to be very difficult for Maritzburg United, because you're going to have that phase of the game when, you are dropping, and then the Sundowns is picking up.
Right.
And then once they get a chance of a goal, that's a problem. So it will be advantageous if Maritzburg United gets a goal score first, and then it will be an interesting game.
Okay. And then what do we make? I mean, obviously the coach of Mamelodi Sundowns is kind of into the last few months of his contract with the team. What do you think? I mean, does winning trophies keep you at a club, or does it make you think, actually, I've done everything I need to do here?
I would like to hear the comment from Batabaire. I've got my personal view.
When you've won everything, if he wins this, do you stick around now? Because what more is there to do, or do you look for a new challenge?
Look, there's one interesting thing about the person of Pitso Mosimane. He's self-driven. He wants success all the time. And remember, there's that ring code that is not doing well in cups, and he has demanded that. And remember, he's not doing well in the league. And they have been winning the league, and at this moment in time, it looks like a league is far-fetched from them. So they must win the trophy, and that's what is instilling into the players. About his contract scenario in South Africa at this moment in time, I don't think Pitso Mosimane as a coach should be worried about that.
There's nowhere else to go, is there? Surely, where he will get the autonomy and the support from the owners that he does at Sundowns. Do you think he can get that elsewhere at a South African club?
Look, he has. The name Pitso Mosimane is a brand. Anyone who is interested in him definitely will have to listen to his demands.
Right.
And then he has to operate according to what he wants. He has earned that right to try and sit on a round table and
Is
say,
he a
"Listen,
million rand a month coach?
It's worth more than that at this moment in time in this country, because he has won all the leagues, all the titles they are of to win as a coach. So there's nothing you can say. He can put a price on his services.
What do you think, Chris, of this personal opinion that you've got of...
First of all, there are things that you said which are correct. Now, the first question is, what is going to push Mamelodi Sundowns not to want Pitso anymore?
Right.
That's the first question.
Right.
So the answer to that question is they have no argument why they should not want Pitso. That is one.
Right.
Then you go to Pitso Mosimane himself. You go to the question now is, which team can give you what Mamelodi Sundowns is giving you? I'm not talking about money in his pocket.
Right.
What Mamelodi Sundowns has been able to give to Pitso, SuperSport did it, by the way, when he started, is give us your wish list.
Yeah.
And then they will go with your wish list and give you what you wanted.
Sure.
And the two, a total autonomy from training ground to starting 11.
Yes.
He has a full autonomy.
Right.
The clubs that I know personally in South Africa, you have Bidvest, you have SuperSport United, you have Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah.
There is no other team in the top tiers of South African football where you have a full autonomy from a training ground to the field starting 11. So now, knowing the personality of Pitso Mosimane,
yes,
you know, if you tell him who to put in the field, you are in trouble.
Of course.
He's
not that kind of coach.
Will he put himself in that situation? I don't know. Personally, I will tell you, I got a call from Tipi Mazembe on Tuesday. They were asking if it is true that Pitso Mosimane is available. I say, I don't know coaches. I don't have a relationship with them. I know about football. And they say, can you check for us? I said, I just read the report like you. So that means outside South Africa,
there are people looking, yes.
But outside South Africa, demands are different from South Africa.
No, listen.
We've just seen it now with Micho.
The honest truth is, he has earned a right to coach any other team. I can give an example. Stellenbosch as a team is owned by an equivalent billionaire.
Right.
Yes.
He can have a dream of building that team.
Yes.
He can go for Pitso. We have got Bidvest Vets. When they did let go of Roger Dissa, the aim was to win the championship.
Right.
They gave Bidvest with Gavin Hand, with Joseph
Open check.
an open check.
That book backing is not there anymore, but I see your point.
So the possibility is there. The question is, you did say that can Sundowns get rid of Pitso? Yes, they can.
In which ground? That is the question. In which ground? Not because he's failing.
Not because his contract is ended.
It might be because personality, they don't like a person, but it cannot be that he failed or he did not give them something they wanted.
It depends on the definition of failing. He has not been winning the cup games, the cup trophies. He has only
he's been winning.
He has won the league title,
league and the biggest club cup on the continent.
When he got the job, it was in Sandton City. I remember in a convention center with the president. He said, "I want to go and conquer Africa."
Right.
Yeah.
Did he deliver that?
He did.
So that brings me back to my point. Do you keep him on, or is the job done?
No.
I'll keep him on. Listen, I know football has changed, right? It's changed big time.
Yeah.
But we had Sir Alex Ferguson. The moment he started winning, they let him go to keep him coaching for 17 years. I don't remember how many years.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger is a bit different. And if he's winning, why do you want to change him?
Sure.
Look, it depends on the relationship that the coach has got with the management.
Yeah.
But it cannot be football reason.
And no, it has to be football first and foremost.
The question now, I think the question that is asking is, what's the football reason to let Pitso Mosimane leave your club?
Look, what is happening at the moment, at least, is interested in conquering Africa, and I think the president has facilitated that.
Very well.
He's very well. There's nothing for him to complain.
Right.
All the players that he wants, he has been able to have them. And if you look at how
he's reaching semi-finals,
if you are seeing how Sundowns is playing, I think the dream lives on.
Yeah.
It's only when maybe only if Sundowns would like to promote him to the national team.
No.
But Pitso has made it
I can guarantee
categorically
that
clear that he
Mosimane
wants
is
to
staying
stay.
at Mamelodi Sundowns.
Right. Yeah.
Now, Pitso Mosimane is staying at Mamelodi Sundowns. This guy is a legend. I don't. The only thing that Pitso Mosimane gets that is going against him is he is an African and he is very dark. Because if it was any other coach,
Right.
we'll be talking about totally in the BBC, in Sky, because what is there in football, in the club football, that Pitso Mosimane has not done? Let's go back to his story, right? He comes in the football as a head coach of SuperSport United. That was my former club that was struggling. He came in, he won cups like it was out of order. He got in the national team. First of all, he got in the national team as an assistant coach. He got to African Cup of Nations, come back. He was assistant coach in the World Cup in his own country. Start coaching the national team, go to the top club in the country, win everything, go to the World Cup as a club coach. What else can this guy do? Keep him at Sundowns. Sundowns is a big club. Or, you know what I will do?
Yeah.
I'll take him to Orlando Pirates just to be to send a message that I want to be a big club.
No, at least he knows where he wants to be.
And Pirates have a new coach now, so
and he knows what he wants as an individual, and I think he has conquered everything. He's playing very well. For me, if I look at how Sundowns is playing at this moment in time, as they're getting upfield, you have two at the back, Langman playing at the back, playing the ball. You have they are keeping that triangle with you have and Jelly just maintaining it, Langman getting on. For me, that's fantastic. You have a mature team that has matured player well. You have got players that have now come to understand each other, and they enjoy to watch.
You know, I liked even at this moment, as they lose the ball, you did not see Langerman going where the ball is. Like Batabaire said earlier on with Ali, he was going to cut and making sure that I know I won't get that ball,
right,
but I don't want that ball to be crossed.
Sure.
So he waited until the opposition get the ball, and then he came in. They are very clever.
No, it's that area of maturity. You know, I'm informed that Coach Pitso, forces his players to watch these games, give an analysis of the opponents, and that's grooming coaches when they're still playing. And that's advantageous that during the course of the game, they can be able, as players, he gives them the permission to try and analyze the game as it progresses by themselves.
Wow.
Have a discussion amongst themselves, even when the game is playing on. And then when it's becoming so difficult, then they can approach him. Now, that's a wonderful coach who understands what he is not. Is not timid when he sees his players doing something on the field of play and he thinks they are going against his instructions. He will do understand that at that moment in time, they're able to find solutions and then he can come up with it. So that's wonderful of a coach on Pitso Mosimane.
And I mean, after the Stellenbosch game, I think he brought that out, that, you know what, when my players aren't doing well, come half time, they will know me.
They will know me.
And then come the second half,
By the way,
they gave
people
him
forget
what
which
they needed.
school of football Pitso Mosimane comes from. People forget that. It comes from Jomo Sono.
Right.
So Jomo is a legend in teaching football. So Pitso was well taught when it came to football.
That was a miss shot by Motumedi. They seem to be in a rush.
Yeah.
Take nothing away from Maritzburg United. They're having a sniff at the goal of Sundowns. And you always have a sniff at Sundowns' goal, the way they play, the way they attack, the way they stand at the back. But once you get that advantage, you need to make sure that you take advantage of those less numbers there. Because once they have the ball and they are comfortable, they'll punish you. They're able to spread the ball across the field of play, which makes it very difficult for them to be marked. And that's how they always hurt the opponents.
And they find those small spaces among themselves, and you see white jerseys, and once they start going, like you're saying, very, very difficult to catch them. And the problem that Maritzburg is playing here is, number one, they are in the final.
Yeah.
This is a team that just survived relegation. So they are in the final. And they are feeling like they're invincible because the past 5 games, they've got good results. So coming to this final, they think like they can hold it on their own. But hey, you're playing against a dangerous team.
Look, they're having a very good run. That's Maritzburg United. They went through a purple patch, at the beginning of the season, which was expected given the fact that they were fighting relegation. They did survive relegation, getting on those new reinforcements, getting them to acclimatize to the new environments. But for me, the greatest result was beating Chiefs. That's an advantage and a disadvantage,
right?
Because what it does on the psychology of the players. Do you believe that you have arrived against Sundowns that you can still beat them, or you are humble enough to make sure that you continue competing and fighting for every? Take yourself as an underdog and try to try and force Sundowns to make mistakes in their own half, and where it matters most, punish them. For me, if I was a coach of Maritzburg United, I'll be very disciplined at the back, knowing that if I can go into a draw, it's still a very good result for me. Let's not forget that Maritzburg United is into the finals en route 2 games. They won them through penalties. So you must understand that we have that advantage. We have the capability and the calmness, to win games in penalties
and the legs
and the legs. So you must understand and say, listen, that's the advantage we have against Mamelodi Sundowns. They have been traveling on the African continent. They are playing so many games. How can we take this game longer, make them more tired, and when we can use our fresh legs to try and punish them?
Well, he's looking like Mamelodi Sundowns are getting a lot of action in front of their own goals. 24% Maritzburg attacking, where Mamelodi Sundowns only 22%. So unfortunately for Maritzburg, they are not hitting the target. They are not making Onyango troubled, and that it is the weak point.
Look, it's both, because when a goalkeeper is not very active, it's very dangerous. The next time he's attacked, he may be flat-footed. That's why they recommend that you have to keep on communicating, try to engage yourself in the game.
What's happening? Look at it. Slowly, they're squeezing Maritzburg at the moment. We have everybody from Maritzburg playing their own half.
For me, I want you to look at when they have the ball. Look at the numbers on the front line. They have got already 4 players on the. They're getting now the numbers getting in there.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous for Maritzburg United. Yes, they are holding up the lines. You will think that they are defending well, but you could see the pockets. They are not pressing the man with the ball. The man with the ball can pass the ball, either short pass or a long pass. That's not defending.
As you are saying, you're right.
You need to close space, and this is a dangerous situation. Yes, there are a lot of blue jerseys there, and they want Sundown to cross the ball, because when you cross the ball, it's 50-50.
Look, the best way to defend is, for players of Sundown's caliber, you need to press the player with the ball.
Right.
Make it very difficult not for him to put up his head up to try and pick a spot. It's very important to do that. The moment you allow those crosses, even a player who can control the ball, put up his head, decide to play a long ball or a short pass, that's very dangerous. They shouldn't allow that. They should make it very difficult. They should understand that Sundowns has got more skillful, talented players than them.
Right.
Then play to your advantage. Make it difficult for them to try and make those passes.
There we go, Timothy, bringing up a very good point there, that it can look like good defending when you've just kind of got the banks sitting there. But if you're not pressing the ball, then it's a problem. As there was a shout there for a penalty on the foul on Libusa. Pitso's also wondering if that's a penalty or not, but he got the referee's decisions for him, rather. Just ask.
Honestly speaking, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. There was no chance that the Maritzburg player had a chance or a sniff on the ball. That's a clear penalty. There's no way. I don't care what you say. He touched the player. That's a penalty.
Let's see. The replay still hasn't been shown, but on first viewing, Timothy, you reckon it's a penalty? Chris, do you agree?
No, it is a penalty. It was the touch inside there. It is a penalty. But my problem at the moment, Maritzburg are dropping very deep, but they're not pressing into the white jersey with the ball. And the Sundown, they can now decide where to pass the ball. Left, right, hold it, come. And that's not what they wanted to do.
And look at that. No one's tracking the man as he runs in with the ball after dispatching of the ball. But let's see. Opportunity there for a counter-attack, very quickly snipped at the bud by Morena.
He's moving forward now. You remember at the beginning of the game, Morena was not touching.
No, that's a penalty. It's a penalty.
No, the ball was gone.
No,
we did not have a full control of the ball.
I like when you say the ball was gone. It was on a turn by a Sundowns player,
Who
not a Maritzburg
who
United.
did not have a full control of the ball. Listen, for a defender to be calling for a penalty,
Yeah.
Did not control the ball very well. I think he felt behind him that there is a player.
What is key is that he played the ball on the turn. That is key. It doesn't matter. The defender didn't have a touch on the ball. That's a penalty. On any given day, if a referee decides to give it.
But the contact was not there.
No, the contact was there on the ankle. It was a late contact.
Yeah, but I think it was a 50-50
when the ball was gone.
Okay.
It has to be a 50-50 with the ball.
Batabaire will say we are reaching what we call championship time,
Right.
Yes.
40th minute, where you have to be switched on. At the moment, Maritzburg, if I have to analyze it, they are switched on defensively. Their mind is let's go to halftime
without conceding
a goal.
Yeah.
They are putting no effort in going forward. They are putting no effort in pressing the ball. So Mamelodi Sundowns, their head, they know they can hurt Maritzburg here.
For me, at this moment in time, I think Sundowns has got an advantage. We have got Maritzburg United having numbers in the defensive position, but not defending because Sundowns can still play those balls within the pocket. So for me, they have the numbers back. That looks like they're defending. In my opinion, they are not defending because Sundowns can still pinpoint whom to pass, how, when. So for me, it's very dangerous.
There we go, as the crosses start coming in. I mean, is that credit to Maritzburg, though, in terms of, like, reducing Sundowns to those kinds of chances, forcing them to cross and try to get the high ball in there?
Well, but the Bayer said earlier on, a team like Sundowns, they will keep playing the same game. Watch Sundowns, even when they're 1-0 down. They don't change the way they play the game. They keep it going slowly because I checked the age of the players at Mamelodi Sundowns, the number of the games that they've played. Most of them have played over 100 games. So they know that they've got the ability to score. So they won't be rushing in trying to get something spectacular.
For me, this is a very mature team. If you look at what they are doing now at this moment in time, in the 35th minute, they know that they are going to commit these Maritzburg United players to commit fouls, get yellow cards. And I'm telling you this, you may not hear it. Coach Pitso Mosimane will continue telling the likes of Sorino to continue attacking that player with a yellow card so that player is sent off.
Yes.
That's a tactical move.
Right.
And we shall see a red card in this game.
And I'm sure that the same can be said for Langerman also, is to apply pressure to his area of the pitch and force him into a bad decision.
Yeah, that's what you do. You go to the weak point. The weak point at the moment is if there is a yellow card, keep going there, keep pushing him. And of course, the player that like Mosimane is not getting the ball, not because they are marking him. No, they left him alone. They are marking everybody else who's supposed to pass him the ball.
Exactly.
They are cutting those passes.
Right.
But for me, it's very key. If you look at when team gets hold of the ball, is looking for a square pass. That does not move the Sundowns team.
Yeah.
You need to play a forward penetrative pass, make the Sundowns players to turn and face their goal.
Like
there,
this action.
you make it very difficult.
You are correct. So from the moment he got the ball in the middle of the park, the ball's supposed to go forward, make the defense to turn around.
Right.
I mean, Batabaire will tell you as a defender, you don't want to turn.
Right.
No.
It's a moment of instability.
The worst thing any defender would hate is to they will get a chance from Motomeri. Just missed one. They need to share the ball, make it very easy, for your team. You work so hard, get into the channels, you get the ball. Don't run with it. Conserve your energy. Pass to your teammate quicker, and then you can easily score that goal.
He did everything right except for that last decision.
That's the most important thing. And, they have to drum it. For me, I'm having, Sundowns are trying to run down the clock. But in that moment in time, they are fooling around. They want to slow down the game, but you have got the likes of Sorino who can try to there's that change of pace, and you've got Zwane getting into the pockets of those chances created when Sorino goes wide on the pitch. They are rushing their cross coming in, wide, because they think once Sorino goes wide, there is already Zwane getting in, and you've got Langman also getting into those pockets. If you look at where Langman is, it's very dangerous.
That was very selfish. Play the ball back. I think.
He had an opportunity much earlier to do something
it was
about
a poor
that,
decision making. He has two supporters are coming inside the box, and it was Afonso who dropped deep, passed the ball in the right hand side. He wanted to go back. I mean, left hand side. He wanted to go back.
I mean,
inside.
he made a good recovery. He went back inside. He was there, but Zwane couldn't.
Sometimes our players in South Africa decision makings, I really question them.
Right.
Yeah. You get inside the box that way. You haven't done. Come on, pass the ball quick.
For me, it's very important. You know, that was the earlier incident. You know, look for a free spot. But if you look also, there is no player who is dropping off to receive a cutback. So they have less.
He didn't even look back.
No, but there we go.
Klaasen was waiting.
No, at that moment, you expect his teammate to be at the penalty spot because they are all getting in. It's very dangerous there.
There we go. There's the first goal.
Yeah.
Of the game.
Yeah.
Musiamedi, the man that they expected to do it.
One moment, miscommunication between the goalkeeper coming late and with the last defender. I think that's the question you're talking about. When you're not playing much, I think the defender, it was Lebusa, who made a wrong decision, did not talk to the coach.
That's exactly what happened in the 3rd minute of this game when it started.
Right.
It was the same collision, the defender letting the ball bounce for the goalkeeper to come. You can never do that as a goalkeeper, as a defender. Clear the ball. That's it. Clear the ball. Don't trust you. And it's also wrong from Dennis Onyango. It's a basic principle. When your defender has got an opponent running on him,
danger.
Don't go to him.
Right.
That's dangerous. There's a danger. There's a danger.
Now the danger. No, I'm saying no danger for the defender.
Exactly.
One-on-one leaving.
The lack of communication.
No, that's what I'm
saying.
That's the problem. As a defender, you cannot allow the ball to bounce.
Exactly what happened in the 3rd minute.
In the 3rd minute,
on the opposite side.
And it's because the referee blew the whistle. You understand? And called for a foul, but it was not a foul. Credit to Motomedi. Fearless. Very fearless.
Yep.
He's taking his chances, and he has got those chances.
Playing to the whistle.
He is a kind of defender. He's kind of a striker. A defender fears to mark. Because
a few seconds ago, I used the word decision making, right?
Yeah.
So that was a poor decision making from a defender and the goalkeeper. Why do you come out when you're not sure you're going to get the ball? Why do you not clear the ball before it bounces? You know you have a defender, a striker behind you.
Their best defending principles, there is no bouncing ball. That's principle. You cannot allow the ball to bounce. You cannot, as a defender, you cannot allow the ball to bounce. 2, for the goalkeeper, once your defender has got the opponent on his shoulders running after him, stay. Give him the option.
Exactly.
For just the options that it can head back to you or it can play back to you.
Yeah.
You narrow the gaps. The moment you come out, it's
2 players now out.
Now the defender has got 2 minds. Should I give a back pass or should I clear the ball?
I mean, it's not even an option anymore, right?
No,
when
it's
the keeper's
not.
that close. You're now stuck with the. Oh, let's see what happens, because Lebusa essentially left it for Onyango to collect, but Musiamedi got in there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now this is very key. We have got frustration now cropping in for Sundowns. Do they have, the mental, attitude to try and hold on to that? We have got this Maritzburg United team that has got a goal. They are now excited. They are now believing that they can win the game. It's very dangerous. It can be very dangerous for Maritzburg United this moment in time. They need, at this moment in time, 41 minutes. I don't see them. I don't see them why they should be attacking. I think this is the time now to try and spread the ball in the middle of the park. And when Sundowns is desperate to try and get that equalizer, you can hit them on the counter.
When you type my name in any Google place, you'll see one thing coming up. Pitso Mosimane and Christophe Bongo fight. Why? It was against Baroka. It wasn't this time when Mamelodi Sundowns considered their first goal. And in the 90th minute, they considered the second goal. They drew the game 2-2, beat Vest, went on to win the league. Mamelodi Sundowns, they do have a problem in the championship time. That's what I was talking about. At that time, you do not get considered a goal. And that's what is killing Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates, they considered 90% of their goals after the 70th minute.
It's rooted in the fact that, there's this aura of invincibility that we are a big team, we're a good team, we can score when we want to score.
Right.
And that's when it crops in. So it takes the seniority of the players at this moment in time, and the technical team say, listen, we know we can score, but how many minutes are remaining on the clock? We have about 5 minutes like this. Please, hold on to it.
Right.
No.
There we go.
That's team
Maritzburg
mix.
not listening to Timothy at all, trying to go for the second goal. Cut back there from Mosimane. Klaassen couldn't get there in time. Clearance from the defense of Sundowns.
We should not forget what is going in the head of Mamelodi Sundowns and Maritzburg. The last two cup in South Africa. The least favorite team won them.
Right.
Baroka and TX
TS
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
So Mamelodi Sundowns are thinking about it.
Let's not forget that we have got a player in Sianda Kul who has not won any cup in the domestic league. He has lost twice in the finals. So that cuts out. What is important right now is the belief, the sense. Who wants it more at this moment in time? For the first 43 minutes, Maritzburg United started the game that they wanted it more. So we can see whether second half, Sundowns will want it more than
By the way,
Maritzburg
Eric
United.
Sinclair has lost more finals than any coach I know.
Who?
Eric Sinclair.
But credit for getting to them.
No, he does get
credit for getting
to finals.
Yeah.
And he has won some.
Which one? He won with
2010 with Roger Dissa. We beat Amazon.
No.
That's and then with Cape Town
No,
City.
as an assistant coach, yes.
Cape Town
City won
Cape
as a
Town
head
City
coach.
won it.
He won. Yeah, he won.
Yeah,
You
No,
won
I'm
it.
saying he has a no. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
He has a record of losing finals as a coach.
Right.
Not as an assistant coach, as a coach.
As a coach.
Yeah, but he has won some.
Oh yeah, as a coach.
So we have to give credit to him that he has been able to steer his team to the
Yeah, I mean,
finals.
he's seen as a cup specialist.
I
of
like
sorts.
his attitude. You can attest to it. He treats his players as his friends. He puts his beats himself. He walks in the pitch.
Look, having worked under Eric Tinkler, he has got an eye for talent. That's for sure. He has got an eye for talent. He knows how to manage his players very well. He knows the strong points of of each and every player.
Right.
So he's gonna nurture every player according to his
What they
talent.
need, yeah.
So he's not gonna demand Timothy Batabaire to try and dribble from the back when he cannot do that. So is that he has got that. He takes off the pressure off his players, and that's very key. Once a player feels loved by the coach, by the technical team, I'm telling you, the players always go out not for the coach,
Right.
Not for the team,
Yeah.
but for the coach,
But for the coach.
and that always brings results for the team.
Okay, as we see here, we're in the dying throes of the match. Mosimane seems to have had a bit of a coming together. Attempts 2 and 1 on target. The man has already covered about 5 kilometers on the pitch, Julius Mosimane. And one of those players where...
He will never be recognized like a Sadio Mane.
No, he won't. He won't.
you know.
Why
But
not?
he's consistent.
Why not?
Yeah,
Mosimane,
why-
Judas is a kind of player in the Firmino. Firmino will not score so many goals.
Right.
But he's going to create so many pockets
Right.
in the back line of the opponent, so that if they had a clever
Look at how
player...
Eric Sinclair is dressed. So he knew he might win today compared to.
When have you seen Pitso in a suit?
No,
But he's
Pitso's never in a
he's
suit.
cup fan.
only during the press conference, Pitso will be in a suit.
Or in a suit, yeah, but here he is.
Look, take nothing away from this game. We are having a downbeat Pitso at this moment in time. And you can imagine what is going through his mind. What does he tell the players? For me, they started the game to try to get themselves into the game,
Right.
Get the body into the game. But at least they didn't get that gear up.
Yeah.
And then Maritzburg United went into that. What will be interesting is, will Maritzburg United come back to continue attacking or sit back? If they
Right.
do sit back,
Right.
they'll concede and lose this final.
Well, those are all questions that'll be answered in the second half. It has gone half time. Mosimane, 5 minutes before the break, scores the leading goal for Maritzburg United. It's 1-0. It's half time. We take a short little break, after which we'll resume the second half and see what it brings us in this Telkom Knockout Final. Don't go too far. Enjoy your little break. We're going to enjoy ours. We'll see you just now. Welcome back. It is the second half as things get back underway at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Maritzburg United in the lead through Judas Mosimane. He's just been a thorn in the side of Libusa, who, along with Onyango, just haven't been really good at communicating with each other at the back. Still with Timothy and Christopher as we look ahead to the second 45 minutes, one that'll be very important for Sundowns as they try to find a way back into the game. But as we can see here, Maritzburg United have made a strong start, but it's all tidied up. Can they clear it? They're taking their time, playing out the back, Mamelodi Sundowns, and are able to start building momentum in search of that equalizing goal.
Well, they're putting pressure on them now. I think Maritzburg, it is, the coach said the same thing, keep going. Last time they played a Kaizer Chiefs, the coach said to them, look at how much space you're having. So will they say the same thing against Mamelodi Sundowns? I don't think so. But he tell them, keep going. And, hey, so far, they are one good against Mamelodi Sundowns.
For me, if Judas Motuweni can vary his game, he's now solely believing that he's the only one to score the goals, for Maritzburg United.
After all that hustle and to get Rocky in. But
he works so hard, but in moment in time, he needs to try and start trying to pick his teammate and make it very easy. In so doing, he will free time for himself, and then also. But he can work on that because he gets into those positions. He has got about 3 chances to try and make an assist to his teammate. It makes it very easy for himself. And I think if he can vary that, he can grow into a very wonderful player that South Africa can look up to.
I see Claessens is playing now a bit in the deep position as number 10, and they're looking for the situation where they leave Judas alone up front. So that becomes even more dangerous for Mamelodi Sundowns because once they lose the ball in the center, you have a player of the quality of Claessens can distribute it, which is a problem.
Look, for me, it will be very interesting to see because I'm seeing now Morena not interested in getting onto the byline. That's very dangerous because, they have that fear now. I also have a feeling that you need a little bit of Jali to push a little bit up, and then you get the 2 central defenders try and, to get him that ball, to cut off, that line, the 3-man, attack line.
Play?
Yeah.
Kekana. I haven't seen Kekana on the ball.
No, he's there.
I haven't seen him on the ball.
Speak of him, there
he's
he
there.
was.
Just right now, he has passed the ball.
So he's playing more defensive.
Yeah, he's playing more defensively.
He's not driving the ball forward because when Kekana drives the ball forward with Zwali next to him, you see Mamelodi Sundowns dominating it around the 18 area. But now they are playing a lot of lateral balls and they are rushing. They're in big trouble now. Once again, Madisha gives the ball away.
We can see the Maritzburg United, bench very malinated. They are calling for a foul, which is not given. But I think it's very important that they are not drawn into such antics because I think they need to be calm. They are leading in this moment in time.
The day is long.
So they need to remain a little bit calm, leave the referee and try to make sure that you encourage your players not to concentrate on the referee because in so doing they're going to compel themselves into those bad habits and they will cost them. And for me in this moment in time, Maritzburg United is a team that expected to be drawing to their advantage. Now they have got a bonus in leading at this moment in time. That's a very bad foul, punishable by a yellow card.
I don't think they will give a yellow card.
It will be lucky not to get a yellow card.
Well, yeah, but
the
lack of consistency, though.
Total yellow card.
That's a yellow card right there.
Yeah,
the consistency is not there.
It is a dangerous tackle because he went for the knee.
Look at that. All studs.
Yeah.
All studs. And not even a card.
Actually, not even a yellow card. It is well deserving for even a red card.
The intention was not good, but you did not
contact. There was no contact.
Injury.
So I'm saying he needs to look for his teammate, share the ball, save your energy. You can imagine 4 numbers, 5 of his teammates are joining in for support and you don't pass them
Just
the ball.
What happens? Makings are wrong.
Yes, but it costs the team because at the end of the day, next time when he gets that ball, I can assure you his teammates won't sprint to try and support
because
him.
Because they don't expect it.
Exactly.
Players don't understand that. You get the ball, you don't release it on time. Next time you get the ball, nobody's expecting to release, and you release, and nobody's there. You lose the ball.
Exactly.
So,
but I mean, at this level, surely it is you have to just keep on trying it until it cracks, right?
Look, these things have to start from the technical team to encourage them. Playing football, I was told, once you get a defender coming on the overlap, respect your teammate. He has made a run to try and support the team.
Yeah.
Pass him the ball. Because if you don't, next time we won't make that overlap.
Sure.
So if you get that rallying call from the coach, you'll always see that when Langman gets on that byline, they continue playing him the ball. And when they play him the ball, they encourage those runs for him to continue getting onto the bike. And that extra support, remember, he's coming as an extra player. When he gets into that third quarter, he has no player marking him. He's always free. So if he can get that ball in a comfortable ball, he's always an added advantage to the opponent.
I'm worried about Maritzburg, the way they're playing now. They're doing too many, what is known in football, Samayas. They start showing off, and this game is very fresh.
Yes, it's still early days in the second half.
Very early days to go, and you're playing against Mamelodi Sundowns. You should be aware of that. Listen, at halftime, I made a comment. I said, as great as he is, because we should not take it away from him, or I should not take it away from him, Onyango has not yet performed in his best level this season. And I remember the game against Golden Arrow. He considered a very weak goal. Yes, it was rainy that day, but this is another situation. I think it's supposed to be a pass immediately and delay opportunity. So Onyango, for me, has not yet performed in the level that we know Onyango should.
Look, you have this moment where we have got a Sundowns team that when they are losing, just like a Golden Arrows game, they try to get the wing backs upfield, and so you have only two defenders, and you have Kekana or Jali always dropping in as a central defender when they are being attacked.
Right.
So in moments when they get the opponents who are fast on the ball, they are always getting punished. So you have now Dennis Onyango, who is not concentrating mainly as a goalkeeper. He has to be a sweeper at this moment in time.
Right. Yeah.
So it is that role that now is getting him into a double-sided moment, and we are seeing all these.
He has to control the whole area.
Exactly, he's getting now into this double mind, just like the goal he has conceded. It happened in the first half. He's coming to be like a sweeper, so that he becomes that extra added player. Wonderful cross. That's the ball with Zwane playing.
We currently have a poll on the run. Who's taking the Telkom Knockout Final? So far, it is leaning in favor of Maritzburg United with 74% of the vote.
No, Mamelodi Sundowns going to come back.
You think Sundowns will come back?
They're a top team, man. They know how to play this game.
Look, listen, this is what's happening. You have got Sundowns that wants a goal. They have got the numbers. If you can see in the attacking third, they have got all the numbers. They are getting into the right places. That's a wonderful, beautiful goal.
Look at that goal there from the man. You were right, Christophe Bongo. Afonso comes good.
That's
equalizer.
That's very poor goalkeeping. Very poor goalkeeping.
Which is uncharacteristic with Ofori.
We have seen two goals, and both of them defensive mistakes, and both of them goalkeeper got involved. And we talked about the championship time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes after the change, you need to concentrate. And I'm very lucky I'm with Batabaire.
But for me, you can talk about poor goalkeeping. You can talk about the defenders. It all begins where the cross is coming from. You need to press that ball. Look at the time. He looks, he sees, and that is Sorino passing the ball. Look at where Sorino is. Once you say you need to take Sorino out of the game, a good coach in Pitso Mosimane tells Sorino to drop so deep.
Yeah.
So doing, is drawing all the central defenders out of the defensive position. If there is any chance for a cross to come in, it's a very good goal. Wonderful run from Afonso. Take nothing away from it. I would say, if I want to prevent that goal, close down the ball. The goalkeeper, you have got the hands. You're seeing the flight of the ball. Once you leave your line, make sure you touch the ball.
Sure. Because that punch went nowhere. I mean, Ofori did punch the ball, but that was well after it had been making its way into the back of his net. Beautiful assist there from Serino, and even better goal there from Afonso.
And then I think when we used to play football, I don't know if those goalkeepers they still do it, but by our time, He does not care if you're his teammate. When the ball is in that area, he's gonna go and he call my ball.
Right.
And when he called my ball, he's going with his feet, his knees, his feet.
That's the goalkeeper's area.
That's the goalkeeper's area.
And that's the time when you have to show your presence. The defender, the opponent have to feel your presence in that area. Once they know that you're coming out. We had Energy Muriambadoro at Vets.
Right.
Once he comes out and he says, it's my ball.
It's
It's
his ball.
up to you to stay or take cover because
Right.
it's going to smash
And
you.
he's saying it with a full conviction with his voice.
Right.
And the same thing happened with Onyango. I don't think Onyango called for that ball. The goal that he considered. He did not call for the ball. And I'm sure Ofori, that where Ofori was good against Kaizer Chiefs in the first game in the semi-final.
Right.
Every cross, he won every cross. Kaizer Chiefs, they struggled. They allowed Kaizer Chiefs to go wide and cross the ball because they knew Ofori is going to win the ball.
Right.
And this time around, that ball is supposed to be a goal.
And there we go as Sundowns make a opportunity there of a corner. Didn't quite have the desired effect, but they still have possession.
You see,
Timothy.
this is the most important telling part of football. Always when the team scores, it's very important to calm down
And keep the ball.
and keep the
Thank
ball
you.
because you're from making those runs to celebrate. You have that uncertain. The intensity is so high, the excitement. If you continue attacking, you are bound to concede.
Right.
So it's very important at this moment in time. Now we have got a team in Maritzburg. Do they go out to attack, or do they recognize the fact that they have conceded, calm down a little bit, pass, get the momentum right, and then continue attacking?
You know, my former coach, Ed Lewis, the late Ed Lewis, peace be upon him, he used to say, a boxer, when he gets knocked out,
Yeah.
the reason they count up to 10 is because the boxer wants to give himself a chance to know, where's my feet? Where is my finger?
Yeah.
Am I still here? Okay, I'm still in the fight. Because boxers who stand up quickly, they get knocked out again.
Again, yeah,
And
so
that's
they
what
haven't reassessed.
That's what the experience of Batabaire is telling us now. He said, when a team concedes a goal, it is that moment they become very vulnerable and they need to control the game a little bit to know that, okay, this is what it is.
Right.
So that's why we're seeing Maritzburg now. They slow a bit the way they've been playing.
No, look, we have got now, this is a Maritzburg Sundowns team. I told you in the first half, they are trying to pass the ball around, get their, get that lactic acid out of the body. Remember, they played on Wednesday, had rested on Thursday, did travel on Friday, and that's the only time they, but that's a very poor goal to concede, sincerely. You can't go to punch the ball. Very disappointing.
be behind.
You are behind.
You are behind.
Go up the ball. You're seeing the flight of the ball and get hold of the ball. That's the difference you can make, and that's the if you're a team of Maritzburg Kariba, you cannot afford to concede such a goal under Maritzburg United against Sundowns. They should be able to score you a goal when they have really created it.
Right.
Such is a soft goal.
As we see now, the home side in Maritzburg trying to get back in this game and try to obviously re-establish that lead that's held them in good stead. Let's see if they'll start playing more, Chris, because it has been the Sundowns show so far in the second half.
This is what we said earlier on. Suddenly the game became 1-1, whereby Mosimane had so many opportunities,
Right.
but he did not distribute the ball to his teammates to keep that advantage because they dominated inside the 18 area. Now Mamelodi Sundowns are looking comfortable.
As they go on the counter-attack here, it's Afonso trying to cut it back. Doesn't manage to do so. So possession is re-established by Maritzburg United, who will now try to counter.
But they don't go forward. There are no players forward. Yes, he's asking who's forward. Nobody's forward. Play
Right.
the ball back.
Right.
Change the direction.
Hold on
Give
to
the
it.
ball.
Switch
Hold on the
sides.
ball. Yes.
Yeah.
You are playing against Sundown. Now you give the ball back. Your team is under pressure, and that is the problem. And you get yourself stretched.
And for me, if you look at the bench, you have got a player in the like of Vilakazi. That's another Arsenal that comes in very attack-minded, very, very strong in attack. But for me now, you are getting Kekana into those forward positions. If you look at where Kekana now has been moved onto the pitch, it's no surprise that he's scoring the goal. Once Kekana is moving up the field, he creates those spaces. But for me, it is this young man, Judas Mutomeri, that is willing to run into the channels, is willing to take on the defenders. Now the communication between his teammate, the likes of, get the likes of team, get close players to him so that when they play that long ball to him, he should not be holding on to the
For
ball
too long,
but just head it back to set it up and then free himself more space.
Right.
He has got the pace, the willingness to run into the space. They should use that to his advantage now.
You just said something very important about Vilakazi. Basically, you're talking about Sundowns bench.
Yeah.
It is a very strong bench. You still have Mabunda can come. You still have, of course, Vilakazi. And in defense, they still have Ngonga can come in to play in that position. And Lake can come in the middle of the park if they get players tired. So Pitso Mosimane will tell his player, like most coaches will say, go there, give me 100%. If you're tired,
I've got
I'll
people
replace
on the bench. Yeah, I've got backup.
And then when you look at now the opposition, where you look at Maritzburg bench, you start saying, if you don't have these players, who can you bring in? And then for me, when I'm looking at here, going forward, I see Kutumela can come in. And Kutumela might replace Claessens, but which means you lose creativity in the middle of the park. So that's all I can see coming in for them. It is Kutumela.
Yeah, Maritzburg United is thin on players that can come onto the pitch and try to change and make something different. Unlike Sundowns, Sundowns has got a luxury of players that can come in and change the game. So what do you do? Because Maritzburg United definitely they have fielded their best. Best stream, which is unlike Sundowns, and that's what we said.
And they have to do it in every game because they didn't want to be in the relegation zone. So every game they have to field the best player. That's what I'm saying.
For the fact that now you have got Maritzburg United, for every chance that you create, try to make sure that you make it count.
Right.
Because if you don't, Sundowns
as the game
can
goes on,
decide when to come on and play. At this moment in time, their bodies are on full throttle. Lactic acid is gone. They have that sense of already. They are saying, okay, if we can equalize, you can come from behind and equalize. We can take on this game and win it. And that's the feeling. What does Maritzburg United do?
Those are supposed not to go. It's supposed to leave the ball.
Those are the mistakes that Sundowns Maritzburg United is doing.
This is a mistake.
I think it was a mistake. I don't think it was offside because it came off the Maritzburg player.
No. What he did, he went up as an offside. Look at the assistant referee. He went up as an offside. Look at what he will do.
But it's not even offside.
It's not even offside.
Yeah, it never happened in football. Look at what he's gonna do. He go offside, and then he puts his flag down.
And then he keeps running with play.
No. It's confusing. But I think if he was calling for offside, the linesman should still continue putting his flag.
You keep it up.
Why? Because Kekana, yes, he went towards the ball, the production, and then he recalled that I can leave the ball. So he had already attempted to interfere with play. So that was an offside. If it was, but it would have been a wrong call because he was onside.
But the point is, can the assistant referee change his mind?
No,
because he did change his mind.
That's very wrong.
When you make a decision,
call,
even if it is a wrong decision, your flag's still up.
Right.
We'll talk about
there
it
has
later.
to be the conviction behind your decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But look, maybe there was a communication from the referee.
The referee said, no. A player already, they stopped playing.
No, but that's you play to the whistle.
Yes, exactly. The referee hasn't blown the whistle.
You play to the whistle.
If that ball went in, it could have been the most controversial moment. Because as a defender, I stopped playing because I look at the assistant referee who already called the ball offside. It does happen. This is football.
So we have the Sundowns bench very animated for that call. And we have Makova and Neti now apologizing for. Yeah,
because it looked like he was quartered to getting into the referee's book. Man down for Maritzburg United.
It really looks bad. I don't think he'll be coming back.
He doesn't even want to try and get up. Let's see. This is the hold up in play. And then in terms of looking at, we were discussing the goalkeeper issue with Onyango coming back into the mix. Is there a case to be made for a cup run keeper and as we see here, what almost got him into trouble? He didn't like the linesman's call, went over to give him a piece of his mind, and then...
because it was wrong for both. Think about it. For the defender, I stopped playing, right? Yeah. Because it is an offside. For the player who shot the ball, Well, it was already offside, so let me just shoot it. So I did not put. If it was not offside, maybe I could have pushed 1 step, 2 steps, and 3 steps.
Right.
So that decision was totally wrong. If it is a wrong call, keep it wrong. You cannot change your mind.
There we go. Pitso playing peacemaker.
He doesn't want to lose his second in command.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Well, the game continues now with Mamelodi Sundowns in possession, trying to build up through Tabelo Moreno, who plays it down the line for Sereno. Good interchanging passes between them. Moreno still has possession. What can he do with it?
Poor pass. I've seen him does it all the time.
But you know, we can't say it's a poor pass. But
the pressure.
The poor boy has no any other option apart from trying to find the same teammate who is in between legs.
Right.
So I would expect that you'll have the likes of Langman getting onto his bike on the other opposite side so that he can move on. Whatever his chance. That's Afonso.
A big chance for Afonso there. Onto his head. Yes, again.
I think he misjudged the goal.
There's something very, very important with this player, Afonso. I want you to look at his positioning.
Yeah.
Very smart enough. And poor defending. He gets locks behind him. He's very clever. He doesn't move. That's poor defending. And that's a very smart striker in Afonso.
Right.
He gets his body
in
behind.
Front.
And if he was very patient, Afonso, if he was very cheeky, he would attempt to chest control the ball. And it will be a push from the back. It will be a penalty.
Draw the foul, yes. But he's a very strong player. Very strong player. In a sense, he's very similar to Musa Mehdi, where you can give him the ball and expect him just to hold it up and keep men off him whilst his players come in and provide options.
For me, as the game is getting on, I think Sundowns is getting stronger. Their front players are getting more of the ball, which is very dangerous for Maritzburg United. Maritzburg United is allowing the likes of Afonso to get hold onto the ball. When they get hold on the ball, the first touch, they allow them to have the second touch. That's very dangerous for a defender to do that, because you're going to lose count. Because for a defender, the striker, once he gets the first touch, you have one option to come closer. If you allow him the second touch, you have allowed him a chance to turn.
Right.
Once the striker turns, you have a 360 angle degree to turn to try and find him. Once he makes that pass and he sprints into the box, you won't find him.
Earlier on, when I was talking about Morena's poor pass, it was not a decision. It was the weight he put in the ball,
the
giving
force
the
behind
opposition
the ball.
the chance to come and intercept. You put your conviction, push the ball harder.
That's true, but the problem is you can see he trapped himself, was running into traffic.
Right.
There are no options on whom to pass the ball.
Yeah.
So he thought by trying to poke the ball closer to his teammate, remember by that time he's getting tired. So that's the problem.
Do you know this type of player? Have you played with them? The one who pass the ball on when they're tired.
I've had so many teammates. You'll have your teammate who will show you the back. He doesn't want the ball.
No.
You will show you the back that, please, I'm
Once
tired.
You get the ball,
I'm tired.
Get the ball,
Don't pass
they don't
me
look at you.
Yeah, but in moments, for a team like Sundowns, you have got players but you have got players with skill who can take 1-2 touches. That extra touch always gives them a chance to try and recover and get those energies. They know how to do it. And
Claessens is out. I was expecting that Kutumela comes in, but it is a Delion, which means they are going a bit defensive minded. They, instead of going for a full attacking player, they go with somebody who can play in that hole,
right,
and can defend a little bit as well. So what we said earlier on, Sundowns are getting stronger and stronger, and your change must be to try to stop them a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Makwa coming on for Claessens just now on the 69th minute of the match.
Yeah.
For me, it's very imperative. This is, they are forcing Maritzburg United to face their goal. They are forcing Ofori to get involved into play, and once they get Ofori to start getting involved into play, if he doesn't keep his concentration on the ball, they are going to concede a second goal, because Sundowns is doing it so well. They are increasing the pressure onto the ball. I'm not so happy with the way Maritzburg United is defending, because they have been pinned backwards and they're accepting it. They shouldn't. With a team like Sundowns, skilled players like Sundowns, they are always poor at marking. What do? use the pace of the likes of Mutumedi, torment them into defending, running into the channels.
Right.
Get those defenders into the channels. You're going to force the likes of Kekana and Jali to try and come back and defend. You reduce their distances to your goal, and then you stand a chance of defending
So
and
basically,
prolonging it.
you start the ball in the back a bit and then long touch. Long
Definitely,
ball,
definitely.
Channels.
The only way, how did Maritzburg United score? It was a long
Long ball,
pass
yeah.
up, run down, chasing the ball. It's the same problem that Maritzburg United is causing to Sundowns.
Another situation where we see Madisha get pressure from that man, Judas, and once again we saw the goalkeeper coming in, but he decided.
This is
He
what
had you.
This is what I always say. This is a defender who causes himself to be injured.
Right.
This should not be happening. You cannot allow the ball to bounce. You cannot allow the ball to bounce because the striker is trying to find a chance to try.
On him. It's not on him as it was landing.
It's unintentional.
But
That's
he won't
for sure.
stand up. This man is.
He
big.
will stand up.
No, it got him. It got him just in the top of the knee. Just on top of the knee.
Actually, he did not step in. Madisha collided on his boot on the studs.
So the weight was not in it. It was just a scratch.
And it's very painful.
It is very painful.
It's very painful, yeah.
You know, from
But
experience,
we always have that magic spray that does wonders, you know.
Yeah.
Magic spray, put the eyes.
And the blood is circulating.
Yeah.
You know, after the game, when you go to a change room, right? Immediately go to change room. You start feeling your fingers, your legs. The whole body start going zzz. That's why I don't like players driving after the game.
Right.
You cannot drive after the game because your mind and your body is not together. Your mind is tired, your body circulation is coming back, and you see them driving. I'm sure, but Timothy used to drive as well after the game, huh?
I was always picked up by my wife.
You have to.
You know, when you're away, you have you get into the team bus to drive you to the hotel where all players have parked. That is quite better because the time you spend in the dressing room after the game, the coach speaking to you guys, the body is cooling down. Then you get onto the bus to get into the hotel room, and then you pick up the car. That's fine.
Yeah.
The body has already rested. You're within your frame of mind. You can drive, but it's always not advisable to drive, depending actually also on the result, because if the result is not good, you have a double mind. You're always asking yourself so many questions. What's happening?
You reflect on the game.
You have, you're having an individual analysis of the game, of what has happened and transpired. Because as footballers, the only time we can have an analysis of the game is just after the game. After that, I need to forget about it and prepare.
Have to move on to the next one, eh? There we go. As we see here, just more pressure coming from Mamelodi Sundowns. This time around, Ofori does get a strong punch to it, where he almost got the counter-attack on the go, but Mosimane once again isolated, not able to find any teammates.
He got the yellow card.
He did for that stamp.
I need to make mention of how good this young man has come. That is Jali in the midfield. He gives them stability, and I'm not surprised that Coach Pitso has now pushed Kokana up front. If you have got a Jali functioning in the middle of the park, you have got a player who is comfortable in the ball, a player who can drive that long pass, a player who can pass the shot, is willing to work for the team. Thanks to the technical team of Sundowns that has been very patient with him to give him a chance to come through.
Do you still remember that midfield of Orlando Pirates? You had Manyisa and Jali.
Yeah, definitely.
And beyond them, you had Matlaba, you have...
There we go. There's the second goal. Second goal from Mamelodi Sundowns. Again, Afonso on a hat-trick now. He's got 2 to his name. 74 minutes into the game, and he comes good. Quality.
Championship time. And 70th minute.
And that's the reason Coach Pitso always gave, the reason why he signed Afonso. It is for those dead ball situations. He mentioned, I signed this player for CAF Champions League. But you can specifically see his goals are coming in. And credit to his teammates, the technical team, they know exactly his strength. They know his positioning. Look at how the balls are being floated to him. Very wonderful. That's very poor defending. Very poor defending. We can see the president, Patrice Motsepe, now the pressure coming down. He's very uncomfortable. But look at his positioning. And he wins.
Wow.
There we go.
But it was a poor defense. I think nobody was defending there.
Yeah, it should have been Ngonyama on him in terms of height.
It doesn't even matter. The point is in football, is not how many players are in the box. It is what individual players is doing in the box.
Right.
And in that situation, nobody was even close to him.
That's what it means to the bench. The players, you can see the celebration. You can see from that reaction, from the celebration, you can understand, the camaraderie, the bond that exists between this team of Sundowns that are driven onto, winning things for the team. For me, this is very key. If you look at the footed ball to Afonso, his technique is very strong in the air.
Yes.
He goes up very well, and at times, if you look, he uses his neck to head the ball. Most people will say that he's heading using his head. No, the power behind the ball is coming from the force of his neck, and that is very key. For me, that's poor defending. Why? If you're a defender and you are late on the ball, make sure you make it very uncomfortable for the person heading the ball. Make it very difficult. For me, Maritzburg United now, and they are now panicking. They don't know what to do at this moment in time that they are now a goal behind. You're getting Afonso, that's Ofori, trying to come to add numbers into play. It is not his strong point. If you get a player of Afonso or Ofori to start playing the ball, you're putting pressure under him. He's going to lose his concentration. He's going to concede, and that's what has happened.
Yeah.
Is it time now for Kutumela to maybe make an appearance, Chris?
Yes. They have nothing to lose. It is a cup game. They need to put one more body going forward to trouble Mamelodi Sundowns' mind and the defense to say they're not giving up. They're coming up.
And there's a different configuration now at the front.
So go with 2 attacking players and make sure that the midfield now you start. Listen, take more chances. Losing 2-1 or losing 3-1. It is a loss.
Right.
So why not go for 2-2 and see what you might do if you go to penalties?
For me, at this moment in time, it's a game for Sundowns to lose at this moment in time, because they know what to do. Look at how they are passing the ball, suck them in, get them out of their defensive positions, and when matters most, you cross that ball. That is Langman. That's a left full back willing to get on the bike to cross the ball at the corner flag. That is the desire that this Sundowns team has got. The willingness, and also you look at the likes of, Jali, Zwane, respecting his run and playing him on. That's the loveliness of this team of Sundowns. They know what to do. And at this moment in time, I can predict that there will be more than 3 goals scored for Sundowns.
There we go. It's the 8th corner of the match. Mamelodi Sundowns have already scored from 1. Can Afonso find his 3rd goal for a hat-trick in a cup final? That'll be
and you can see how they are standing there. There is no way they can defend Afonso if that ball is driven in very well. They have already lost. They have already lost him. He's very strong in the air that you cannot man mark him. You cannot stand with him because he's so good at attacking the ball in the air. So give yourself some echo of space so that you can be able, to try and challenge that ball. And that's the only way you can win the ball. If you stand with him, he has got the technique that he can flip the ball off you.
There we go. Kutumela is coming on for Miguel Tim.
Yeah. You needed to put an attacking player, not only to change the complexion of the game, but to make Sundown to be minds full of, but might be in trouble.
But I would disagree with the choice of the substitution, because you're taking out Team Miguels who can in the deep lying position and try to pick Motuwede like we have seen, and then you are taking him out to bring an attacking midfielder. You have created a very big problem because Sundowns is not going to give you so many chances to get onto their goal to give those passes. So you need a talented player like Team who can give a 40-yard pass to the likes of Motomedi.
Well, let's see how it's going to work out as Serino turns on the style. Tries to get that ball through to Afonso, who does chest it, has an opportunity, can't get it down in time.
But he has too much time. How do you control the ball in your chest, put it down in the D area of the opposition?
These are some of the things that people don't understand. Afonso is not a very comfortable player on his feet. So what he has done so well is that he's very good in the air and he's very good at positioning himself. So he's a kind of player that the likes of Solino will switch the ball to
him.
just to drift it back, head it back to some oncoming likes of Zwane, so that they do damage to it. So I think they understand that, and when he loses such a ball, I'm sure Coach Pitso will not even, we won't see him animating on the touchline.
Right.
Yeah. What would you say about the Kaizer Chiefs attacking Vukovic?
Look,
he's comfortable both with.
He's a complete player.
And good positioning, and good finishing.
I think for the size of Afonso, it would be very surprising if you do everything well.
European player, even Sam is also very bulky and everything like that. But when you're coming from Europe, it's drilled from childhood. You're not only a striker, you need to come out and defend. You need to run in the channels. You need to harass the defenders and everything like that. So they have grown doing that. In Africa, you play soccer on the streets, you play soccer at school, and by the time you come to Mamelodi Sundowns, the things they are teaching you are new, even when you're about 25, 28 years. So to change the habits, to get in the right habits, there is a problem.
Can I tell you a story? People don't believe me. I had the opportunity of playing professional football in South Africa, but for the first time in my life, I was coached.
Yeah, not trained.
No, coached.
Not trained.
I was 20 years old. The first time I wore a soccer boot, I was 20 years old when I came in South Africa in 1991.
Yeah.
I did not even know that a football team need a coach. I used to think they just tended to decide who to play. I did not. But, of course, a year later, I turned pro. And what he's saying is correct. Because in my mind, when I was playing football, it was run and shoot. Mm-hmm. And I was big, I was strong. And my point was get the ball and shoot. So what he just said, it is very important. That's why I get upset in South Africa where people, they use the term development. We do not have development in South Africa. We have to accept it.
Is it not getting better, do you think? With, in recent times?
Probably, but our time,
for me, this is what I've observed. For example, how many players from Bid Boys are in the senior team? How many players coming from Mamelodi Sundowns development side are being promoted into the senior side?
Right.
How many players are being promoted from Chiefs development side into the team? Most of these players are non-existent. So that means that the teams don't even acknowledge their development structures.
Thank you.
And for me, that's a problem. Two, we are forcing results ahead of doing the right thing of
the youth level.
So now what's happening? What's happening with Sundowns is that when Pitso Mosimane makes a choice of Makoma Meti as an assistant, that is very key and telling, because he's
offside.
He's not believing that he's the best coach.
Right.
He's saying, I have the best. If I can have the best with me, we can win everything.
Right.
And that's, if you can see how Sundowns is playing, they can continue winning trophies in this country. And
the point that he's saying when we say development, right? Development is, in South Africa, we are gifted with, in Southern Africa, we are gifted with talented players.
Right.
But they are not developing decision making. And when you see a guy come from Zimbabwe, the guy come from Zambia, and they come here and they dominate in the professional level, is because from a young age, their mind was football is life. So talent was very small. It was not something you push in. It is work.
Right.
I've seen players that I ask the question, how many players do you play with? They pass the ball on when they're tired.
Yeah.
You don't have to pass the ball when you're tired. You should pass the ball because the guy is in a better position than you.
Exactly, yeah.
For me, it reminds me when Middlesbrough was asked about, Chiefs was winning with, avalanche of goals. And then players were trying to play around with the ball. And he was very upset. For any other South African coach, they would say, no, they are enjoying themselves and everything like that.
Expressing themselves, yes.
Those are the wrong habits we're talking about. At moments like this now, you need, to manage the game. This is a missed opportunity.
Once again,
for Maritzburg United. You need to manage the game. You cannot allow a one-on-one in this situation for a team like Sundowns. You need to try and make sure that you hide that ball very far from your goal and prevent such scenarios.
Yeah, Shandu with the chance there.
Problem. They are not defending the channels very well. And
For me, it starts, if you look at where the pass is coming from, when Sundowns loses the ball, they are not pressurizing the ball there and then. They should do that immediately. Look at the ball, the pass coming from there. We have Kekana, he should have gone there. And then you have got Motoedi being allowed time and space on the ball.
Look at this
to turn
pass.
and pick out a space. Great defending.
Very good defense. But once again, the goalkeeper is there.
There we go.
Stay down the line. Wow.
It looks like they're shutting up shop, Sundowns. Afonso comes off. 2 goals to the good. The guy who's literally taken the game by the scruff off its neck. I see Ngongla also being lined up to come in. So it looks like Coach Pitso is just trying to...
That's a very poor goal to concede.
Yeah, I know it is. We look at a worry there.
If you the first goal,
if you go back and
both
have a
goals
look,
were poor. They were very soft, very, very soft. No defense, nobody going there. And that's giving Sundown, of course, a team like Mamelodi Sundowns, give them opportunity to score, they will score. Geez, Sundown are winning this game without Vilakazi even changing, taking the tops off.
There we go. Just over 5 minutes left to go as we head into the 86th minute of the game. It must be said in the last few minutes, though, Maritzburg have been trying. They've been trying to get back into the game.
With a long balls, like Timothy said, that was the only way they can go because they couldn't build a chance in the middle of the park. They lost their player that they can hold the ball for them. Tim is out. Tillerson out. So they don't have a ball players to hold the ball from them.
There we go. Looks like another substitution. We called it. Ngongla is coming on.
I think that injury continued with Madisha, right?
No, it's not for Madisha. That's going to be coming out. It's Pelele Mkhulise who gets substituted. So opting for some experience in the last few minutes.
Probably, I think Pitso has reverted to a 4-4-2 where you're going to see Ngonga start going in the left-hand side, pushing forward. But why do you try to push now?
Look, at this moment in time, remember, Pitso is desperate to win this trophy. It has it has been very elusive from them. The last one in 2015. So it has been very elusive, and they needed to,
But if you go into a 2-2 situation at the end of this game without a good striker in there, then surely that's not...
No. They have got a striker. They have got, at this moment in time...
Sereno can go up front.
But at this moment in time, they are playing a shadow striker.
Right.
So you're going to have end of the front three turning into a striker when they're attacking.
They are working very hard.
For me, that's not a problem.
They're working very hard now.
They're just making it very difficult in numbers for Maritzburg United. Yeah. And in so doing, actually, they will get an advantage that they will punish Maritzburg United.
This win, if they win, because we still have 3 minutes, if they win, I think Kaizer Chiefs, they must be worrisome. Because
no. This has no effect on the league.
It will have a huge effect because...
How so, Chris?
Because something is out of their minds now.
We've got silverware now.
Forget that.
We've got one now in the bag.
The next thing is because remember, Kaizer Chiefs is playing the game. If they don't win that game, and Mamelodi Sundowns win their next game, which is, I think, against SuperSport United, if I'm not mistaken, they're playing one of the big teams, Vets. I think they're playing Beat Vets. If they beat Vets, you come from 10 points to 7 points immediately. So you have now 1-digit lead, not double anymore. And then they still have a game in hand. So I think Kaizer Chiefs, they know. For me personally, as a player, come on, guys, the cup is out of the way because they got beaten in MTN 8.
Right.
And now this is the second cup. So if they win this, it's going to open up the league for them.
Look, the Pitso will continue with the rhetorics to try and destabilize Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
If they do win this trophy. But I can tell you, if you have observed Middlesbrough mentality and everything like that, he's talking and all his history in this team, it's very important to tell that he has got these players grounded.
Right.
The reason why the likes of Kune not playing, Brilliant in and out, and the team still performing well. For me, that's an indication that he has forced his hand on the whole system of Kaizer Chiefs, and in so doing, that is a really championship created team. It's not easy to beat and to dismantle them.
Kaizer Chiefs this season, they've got a different attitude. Once they go a goal down, they fight so hard for them to come back. The difference between them and Mamelodi Sundowns is Mamelodi Sundowns, they just play the game knowing that they will score that extra goal.
Right.
They've got that kind of... You did not see them panic. They were 1-0 down. in the cup final, and they're still pushing the ball around. And that shows that...
well, we spoke about that, how they stay true to their philosophy, no matter how the game is going at the moment.
Let's look at that opportunity.
Well, here we go. Pressure still being mounted by Maritzburg United.
Give the ball where you're facing.
Yeah, there we go.
Now you put your team under pressure.
It's Mosimane.
Poor control.
Can he do something here?
Offside.
Too late.
Well played by the defense to hold their line. It causes an offside decision in favor of Mamelodi Sundowns as Mekwa just tried to get in.
It's not offside.
Well, there we go.
Very interesting.
Not offside. Not offside.
Wrong decision.
Not offside.
The assistant referee was offside.
That's a tricky one, eh?
He was positioning his position.
That's a tricky one. Now, you see, at a late stage like this, when the result is like this man here, Eric Tinkler, will be frustrated by a decision like that.
It's it reminds me of Bongo's comment when he said he has been to so many finals, but the cup has always eluded him.
Yeah.
And this is another missed opportunity, to add a trophy to his name. But again, no one expected Maritzburg United to be in the finals. They're in the finals. In such doing, it is always having a damaging effect to the team. How do you motivate the players to focus on the league, having missed out a chance to win a trophy in this moment in time? They have to go back on the dressing board. I always told people when I was at Celtic, in those moments when the team was struggling to get results, management calls meetings and even they ask, what can we do? I used to say, please, even if the team has lost, give them a bonus. They don't expect it.
Right.
It's a surprise. If you do that, it motivates the players to continue getting focused and everything like that. And Jim August used to do that.
Okay. I never thought about it that way.
Where?
To give a bonus for
losing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Jimmy August.
But it's positive reinforcement. Not all the time, but
not all the time.
In random, not all the time.
Yeah,
we had Jimmy Agusti. You could play so well against Chiefs, and
because there is
he could come in and say, guys, I promised you 5,000. I'm going to give you 2,000 rands for playing so well.
Yes.
And
because there's a way to lose.
What was that? Was a catalyst for the next game.
Of course.
So you need to, in most cases, you need to try and balance it out. No one expects Baroka to beat Chiefs or Pirates or Sundowns. So in the moments when the players bring their A game and win that game and give them a surprise, show them love, that already works wonders.
Now that I've got you here, I've got the question. Do you think Baroka are going to keep their question to the end of the season?
I always tell people, coaches don't play football.
But Zambia wants him. Do you think...
There's the equalizer.
Offside.
That's the equalizer, but it is offside. Julius Mosimane. That's literally
unfortunately, there's no VAR.
The game.
There is no VAR.
We're about to find out from the replay if the linesman has got it right, because he got the previous decision wrong.
It's too late.
The linesman got the previous decision wrong. Let's see if he's got this one right.
The referee won't change the decision.
Of course he won't, but we have to wonder.
We'll want to have that's the throw in. There's no offside into it.
That is onside.
He's offside.
He's onside.
No.
Look at the shoulder. Look at the elbow.
You are looking at
are we looking at the foul?
You are looking at it in the wrong angle. If you look at it properly,
he is not offside, and I can tell you why. I can tell you why.
He's not offside.
That ball came off the head of a Mamelodi Sundowns player.
That is something we have to look at. But his positioning, he was in the offside position when the ball is just because we are looking at a different angle. Remember, what we see on TV, it comes from camera 2.
Right.
Camera 2, it is higher,
right,
and it is in the middle of the stadium.
Right.
It's not an offside camera, and we need to get it in an offside camera. You'll see that it was off. But this is a good talking point for Kaizer Chiefs and the Orlando Pirates supporters.
Not even for the people who are involved in this game.
There is the man in the picture celebrating the trophy.
It is done.
Look at the arms.
Pitso Mosimane has won the Telkom Knockout.
Look at the arms. Look at the arms.
It is done. That photo is going to make a lot of back pages. There we go.
So, but the cameraman is waiting for him to turn. He's not turning. Take us to camera 5.
There we go. Mamelodi Sundowns are crowned the Telkom Knockout 2019 champions. That man there, Afonso, his brace doing all the difference and the damage in the end, but you just have to worry and wonder about those decisions by the linesman. Christophe Bongo reckons there was not an offside.
Unfortunately,
Timothy, you reckon it is, which means that will be 2 offside decisions back to back.
There's a shout for an offside. There's a shout for no offside. It will be very, very interesting. We're not having all the angles in this regard regarding this. But if that ball came off the head of the defender of Mamelodi Sundowns, then it's not offside.
Yeah,
then,
there we go. The Maritzburg United players are going towards
then Maritzburg United will feel aggrieved.
The match officials, they're not happy. Neither is Eric Tinkler. He's, you know how it is.
You know what?
Accusing them of something, probably.
You know what I always say? The only time you know the referee's name is when your team loses.
There's going to be an inquest, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wrote, unfortunately, this cup final, it will be dominated by the last assistant referee's decision.
Yeah.
Look, you when you win a trophy like this, you don't want such ending scenes to try and to taint your hard and victory. I think organizations are in order. A goal down. For me, look at that.
No, it's fine.
Onside.
Yeah, that was fine. We're trying to have a look at the replay. If we can just get the screen
we can see it.
to...
There it is. There it is clear. He is in the offside position. He was in the offside position, but the question now is who was the last player to touch the ball?
It's a controversial one.
Look at that. Look at that.
There.
Look at that.
That looks... No way.
Look at his shoulder.
Exactly.
No, guys.
I was looking at that elbow.
Wait.
That elbow is playing him on.
Elbow is playing him
I
on.
in fact thought that maybe they were calling for that foul.
No.
But it wasn't.
All of us who are watching this game,
Yes.
we're not looking at the direction of the assistant referee who's straight in line.
Right.
Yes. So even the picture that you're going to see in your social media, the pictures are coming from a top camera, which is camera number 2. You need the offside camera to tell you exactly what happened.
Eric Tinkler is not impressed. The referee's assistants today have had it from both benches, but I must say, in a sense, it's been justified. I don't know if these decisions have been on point. There he is. He's leaving his words with Professor Ronnie Schloss, just saying to him, listen, man, what we've seen here today, and that's what it is. It's going to end up being the discussion. The talk is going to be...
At this moment in time, I think he needs to calm down. There's nothing much he can do apart from getting himself fined and called into the DC. At this moment in time, it has been called. He has lost the finals. He needs to get to his players and try to, mourn the loss of the finals at this moment in time and try to... to congratulate themselves, pat themselves on the back.
But I mean, when you lose in such a fashion, surely, it's the frustration. I sympathize with Coach Eric Tinkler because, I think he's going to go home. He's going to watch those decisions and, he's going to see that, you know what, this wasn't an even game. As far as decisions are concerned, it wasn't an even game.
The bottom line is, Mamelodi Sundowns are worth winner. They played better. They scored 2 clear goals.
Right.
And they came from behind. Maritzburg had opportunities of winning this game very, very easily, if we can say so. And they did not win it at the moment. The final score, a referee's decision is the final, except once in my lifetime, where South Africa replayed a game against Senegal,
right,
from a decision from the referee. That is crazy. But yes, Mamelodi Sundowns champions. I believe for me they were a better team.
Okay, well there we go. It's in the middle of the decade that they last won the trophy in 2015. Now they closed out the decade by winning this trophy. And the man of the match in this game, of course, Afonso. But there you have it, gents. Pitso Mosimane now has 1 in the bag, more than the team that's leading him at the top of the table. Nothing's been won by them yet. So I guess, he's operating from a place where he can now look at the league and say, listen, I've got 1 trophy in the bag. Let's put pressure on Chiefs.
The most successful team in the PSL history, 23 years down the line, that's Sundowns at this moment in time. The number of trophies they have won. Sure, he has molded a wonderful team. They look like a family, a very happy family at this moment in time. In this moment in time, they are a true representative of South Africa football. Can they challenge Kaizer Chiefs? I can assure you at this moment in time that all guns are gunning for Kaizer Chiefs.
Right.
Will they hold on to the pressure? They can try to, but Sundowns will drive them all the way.
You know, in the past 3 seasons in PSL, for you to win the league, you reach 60 points. 60 points. And the most team reach it with 16 wins. Only Mamelodi Sundowns won it once with 59 points. At the moment, as we are speaking,
Yeah.
Kaizer Chiefs got 11th win.
So they need 5 more, you say?
11 win. So 60 points is not very far.
Right.
So unless Mamelodi Sundowns push them like Liverpool did push Man City to the break where you have to break the record for you to win it. And is it possible for Mamelodi Sundowns to do it? I am saying after this win, yes.
Okay. Based on that, well, let's see how it goes down. But congratulations to Pitso Mosimane and his team. We'll see now what impact this has on the remainder of the league season. Can they take this energy? This is a bit of a poison chalice. Teams who've won it in the past have fallen apart in the league season. But you suspect that with a team like Mamelodi Sundowns, that won't happen. There's so much quality. And does that then put a bit of pressure on Kaizer Chiefs to go into that January transfer window and look to create some sort of depth as far as the squad is concerned?
Go to the January window to buy whom? To buy what?
That's the thing. Yeah, it's tricky to find value in January.
For
Chiefs.
Remember...
No, Sundowns is going to go in the market for billiard.
No.
In January?
In January, yeah. Why not?
So.
Why not?
They don't need him.
Why? Who says so?
I'm telling you, Mamelodi Sundowns.
No. They need him. If they can,
they need him for whom?
if they can have Billiard back in the Sundowns team,
Yeah.
take it from me, it will be an unbeatable team.
But they're not.
That won't happen in January from the team that is leading the table. They're not going to sell it.
They don't need him.
I tend to agree with you.
They don't need
But I
him.
also understand what Timothy's saying.
The story in the beginning of the season was to destabilize Kaizer Chiefs.
No, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Kama Billiard in any team is needed.
Then that's exactly what Kaizer Chiefs are going to say.
Kaizer Chiefs are doing quite well without him.
No, and that's the problem. People don't understand. When Billiard is not on the field of play, look at the player who replaces him. His performance is beyond.
Listen,
and that's the impact, whether it's on the pitch, off the pitch, is very important for the squad.
If we have to talk about billiard, which we should be talking about billiard very, very soon, I watched the game they played in the semi-final. No, against Orlando Pirates, in the semi-final against Orlando Pirates, yeah? He was walking.
He's not
we were here.
Yeah, he's
in
not
the derby. We did the derby.
You see, 100%
we did the derby.
You see, this is what is interesting.
Is Billiard a talented player? Yes. He's an impactful player. Yes, no doubt.
See, let me tell you something that's very interesting. We have had the presence of Solino on the field of play today. He was not as effective as before. His damage has been enough to down Maritzburg United because on the field of play. He can be walking. There's nothing wrong with that. He is a distraction to the defenders, taking them out of their position just by being on the field of play. That's key.
I guess.
This team, Mamelodi Sundowns, they need to give Kennedy Mwene more chance of playing.
Right.
For me, that's their distraction because at the back, a great Onyango is not as great as he was last season or in AFCON. Something happened, and I just heard it now that he had a situation back home with the father. I did not know that. His level is not where Onyango is. Onyango is the amazing goalkeeper. But when you look at him of late, you need Kennedy Mwene to come back in the top level to challenge him, to give him something to think of. And there is no challenge in that position at the moment.
For me, I think at this moment in time, at a team of Sundowns, no one expects them to lose. So I will expect the technical team to be rotating their goalkeepers and giving them a good run, so that you create harmony.
But when do you give? Kennedy Mwene is a top player.
I understand,
So
but you see,
If not in the cup,
this is what happens. You know, coaches have this belief that you don't change the back four. And when it's running, you get that confidence that the defenders are playing with the goalkeepers. They always try to maintain that. So for me, it's very key where you create that ripple, where the players have that camaraderie. For me, coming from Uganda, in my team Uganda, we could even have a discussion among ourselves as players playing in the same position, and we could share games, and we could say, Coach, yes, he can play he can play. You have that relationship. You are not competing with each other.
Right, you're
you
all
know,
a team,
we are a team. Our main aim is to make sure that we defeat the
As your
opponent.
captain, do you agree with me? You're saying his performance this year is not as
Definitely, and for any player, you're gonna have that because he has achieved everything. They are winning everything, even when it's playing not so 100%.
Right.
So it comes back to the mental strength. You have to be driven. We had a discussion here whether Pitso Mosimane, whether Sundowns wants him or not. It is gonna depend on Pitso. Pitso is driven by himself to be successful, to win each and every trophy. No one can give you that. So Dennis Onyango needs to understand that, yes, he has created...
They need to rediscover that drive again.
He needs to say, I want to be the best.
Right.
I want to be the best on the African continent and even challenge the European goalkeepers. That's going to be his driving motivation to keep him
Anyway,
focused.
the World Cup qualifiers are coming soon.
Well, yeah, we'll see when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much to you, Chris, and to you, Tim, and to everybody who's been tuned in via the socials. It's done and dusted. We'll probably reflect on the comments that were said in the post-match interviews come the podcast next week. But that's it for the Saturday evening live broadcast, blow-by-blow account of what's been happening with the Telkom Knockout Final. Mamelodi Sundowns end a 5-year wait to win the trophy. They've won it with 2-1. Afonso, the main man. Tinkler frustrated. Musiamedi on the score sheet. It sounds like a very familiar story as far as these two teams are concerned. We'll reflect on that in the new week. But all for this weekend. Thank you so much for being with us. Until we meet again in the new week. Take care. Goodbye.